holler, boy. They always screaming, Rich be snapping. I say the collar, boy.
From one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. The scene just a few moments ago, predictably loud and raucous here in KC as their beloved Chiefs took the field, and they are set to match up with the Carolina Panthers. Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. Jones on first down, not going to yield much. A yard tops. Second down coming up.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. To throw, it's Rodgers. Open man is Denzel Mims. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag. Because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Quick pass out to Miller. Oh, he's got a little daylight.
Yeah, baby.
Touchdown, Carolina. Scotty Miller. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Panthers are on the board first here on the road in Kansas City. Now the extra point try forthcoming. And this will be good to give the Panthers a 7-0 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start the drive here with an end around, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. And they'll try a jet sweep. It's Rager. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a big play there for the Chiefs. Well, for a play that didn't look like much at the snap, that jet sweep turned into a big play in a hurry.
And how about how they ran the play? Because they obviously caught the defense out of position and not expecting that one, and that turned into a nice chunk of yardage. But how about the execution on the handoff? Most of the times we see on the jet sweep, they punch it forward so that if it falls to the ground, it's just an incomplete pass. Here, you've got to execute it well. Otherwise, it's a fumble.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. Now Mahomes. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got him the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. On the counter, here's Jones. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Only a yard in the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Open man is Miller. He's got it. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. With these run-pass options, we often talk about a good quarterback and running back. Well, having a talented wide receiver helps also.
Yeah, even coming in 3rd in the discussion, sometimes that means he really should be first, because all you want to do is get the ball in their hands and let them make the big plays downfield.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
And the Chiefs are going to get him. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. Well, that time, it looked like he essentially just ran right into the pass rush.
Yeah, partner, I'm not much of an outdoorsman, but the fish jumped right into the net, didn't he? Because you've got to make sure that you're deep enough that you can get around the defensive end and have an angle there. But he couldn't do it because he actually...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, it certainly looked to me like he tapped into the quarterback's thought process there. And what I'm hearing more and more when I go around the league, defenders sitting in on quarterback meetings trying to learn more about how they think so they can be in the right position, to be in the right spot, as he was there to pick that one off and take it all the way back for a touchdown.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. The give is to Jones. And this is going to be a Panthers first down as he's able to get this up past the 40. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
That's complete to Tony. That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football. All right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
On second down now. It's Jones, and he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that'll be caught by Tony. These two teams all tied after one. Here's 2nd and a yard. Rodgers going to throw. That caught by Tremble.
They got a completion there, but that's clearly an example of one side happy, the other side not very happy. Defense, hey, take 1 or 2 yards. We're good with that. Offense, you got to expect to get more on the passing play.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go back to the ground with Jones. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
They'll swing this out to Tony.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Open man left side. It's the tight end Trimble. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
48 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Chuba Hubbard taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Panthers have taken the lead. Extra point up and through. And that makes the score 14-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. Gets it up around the 22 and no further. Just shows some power on the run, but not a whole lot of room. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Now here's Mahomes. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. He targets Ingram for another grab. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the 1st down.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. He'll get this complete to Jalen Reagor. 7 yards to pick up there.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did.
And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. And he will have the 1st down as he's brought down up near midfield. Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a 1st down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, 14-7. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. Step, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Well, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. He's picked off at his own 46. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the 1st half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts, to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he takes it into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown. Ronald Jones taking it in from a yard out. And the Panthers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Now for the point after. It's good, and it is now 21-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And a first half that really has not been kind to them. A late opportunity here to maybe make some inroads on this deficit before half.
And this drive's going to go a long way towards telling us whether they actually have a chance to come.
The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second. Another try after the first down sack. Mahomes. Now they go screen. It's complete. He'll be upended at the 18. That's a very helpful pickup of 9 after the play began at the 9.
I like the thinking there because right after a sack, it can be a great time to call for a screen to your running back and use the eagerness of the defense against them. Able to gain some positive yards out of this one and make things a little bit easier for them on third down.
He'll fire it deep for Rager. A fight for it, and this is caught. It's caught indeed. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. So we come upon halftime intermission here with the visiting Panthers taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
I know a lot of coaches like the toss play because they think it can be a real momentum shifter. Get the ball to that back who can get to the corner and turn it upfield. And on this play, that's exactly what they got, including a first down.
Now Mahomes on the bootleg. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Second and 10. A give to Elliott. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
He's had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Mahomes now to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer. Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll go again to Jones. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. 59 yards on the ground for him so far.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They'll try and run for this with Hubbard. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. Here's the Panthers punter now. And now on 4th and 1, it's a fake, and the gamble pays off. They get the first. They only get 4, but the fake punt works and gets him a first down. So they snap it straight to the up man. What's his responsibility? Normally, obviously, just to protect, but he's got to be a guy that can be pretty agile too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, because you're talking about a guy, even in protection, he may have to slide up and down the line of scrimmage to pick up someone who comes through trying to block a punt. So you know he's got that ability to move, but oftentimes it's a running back, a fullback, someone who's used to having the ball in their hands, and he's able to pick up the first down.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
I think that time he just maybe held on to it a little too long, CD, because after a couple of seconds in this league, you know those defenders are coming.
And how many times do we talk about complementary football? And we usually talk about, does the offense help the defense? Does the defense help the offense? I think in this case, Does the quarterback help out his offensive line? You only have a certain amount of time to get rid of the football. They can only do so much. On this play, he took them to the limits.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. Going deep this time for Miller.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
Picked up by Juan Thornhill. And the Chiefs are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit. And receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second. From the shotgun again to Elliott. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down. Mahomes going to throw. Rager catches it left side. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. Here's Jamie Gillen now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one. Taken from just outside the 30. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Their defense got to stop, force the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. And some room to work. And now off to the races down the right side. And this will set them up nicely deep down in KC territory. A big play there on the catch and run. So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Now Jones.
65 yards rushing for him now to this point. Jones again.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Ronald Jones with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Panthers add on to their lead. Extra point attempt to follow here. The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag.
So the extra point good, and the roughing call going to move the ball out to the 50 for the kickoff.
And I think this is a good chance to pin them deep if you can land the kickoff inside the 5-yard line or so. Gain some field position for your defense.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. It's C.J. Henderson picking it off. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick six for a Panther touchdown. Well, dare I say it, it's kind of quid pro quo. Both defenses now with an interception return for a touchdown.
Your vocabulary, sir. Well done.
The call is to go for one and kick the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And that last pick six may have been the backbreaker as they now face a 3-score deficit in the fourth quarter. They need points quickly. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Mahomes. He'll fire it deep for Rager. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
31's the mic. Hey, let's get that home. 31's the mic.
Throwing now is Mahomes. He'll fire it deep for Rager. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They've got a chance now to put this game away following that last defensive stop and punt. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Derek Nottie makes the tackle.
So fourth quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? Able to connect with Mims. And some space here. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big connection on that one. 32 yards.
No let up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout. And actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the 3rd quarter doing the old hold up 4 fingers college sign, meaning the 4th quarter is ours. And they certainly weren't kidding.
Jones with a nice burst there on 1st down as he'll be taken down, but not before a gain of 7 yards.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. Again, it's Jones. He's dropped just inside the 20. A little second effort there, but couldn't find a whole lot of space. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. On 3rd down, here's a run by Hubbard. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
Brandon, this can be so demoralizing for a defense. They've had 2 opportunities to get off the field. They haven't gotten it done. So now your coordinator, he's going to call every blitz that he has, any type of exotic, something that they haven't seen before. And he's also telling the defensive lineman, don't worry about it.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Chuba Hubbard. Now.
Next score, Pacers 42, Chiefs 13.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And Mahomes misfires again, and it's intercepted. It's C.J. Henderson picking it off. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. The tight end Jarwin with it out on the left side. And his bid for the 1st down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Now here's the Panthers special teams unit to try a field goal for 3. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
that's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. And again, it's Mahomes. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I'll tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to be a nice, long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. Here's Jamie Gillen now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And they will get to this one and down it at the 13-yard line. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And they take a knee.